On June 26, 1997, a book would release that would delight the imaginations of children and adults around the world. The now iconic Harry Potter brought the world of mischief, magic, and adventure into center stage, and the stories continue to enthrall readers and moviegoers. As VR continues to blossom, there have been many games to attempt this recipe of storytelling and adventure. And this takes me right into my review of The Mage's Tale by inXile Entertainment. The Mage's Tale is a VR dungeon crawler plunging you into a mysterious world as you traverse and overcome the medieval environments. Let's take a deeper look into the details. The Mage's Tale offers a wealth of gameplay variation with fluid and easy-to-work mechanics. The game begins with a light tutorial phase while you simultaneously learn your mission. Like many dungeon crawlers before it, you will be faced with various puzzles along with many collectible items to uncover in your environment. The puzzles were all relatively well balanced, and the only ones I ever found any real difficulty in overcoming were not integral to my progression. The items that you'll collect are placed in your friendly pet toad as he travels through a dimensional rift to simply swallow your treasures. It's hilarious and just overall seems very satisfying. It's also very helpful as an inventory for necessary items becomes unnecessary. These items are teleported back to your personal cauldron where you will mix these ingredients to create new spells or sweeten up existing ones. It's a really cool mechanic, but it never takes itself too seriously and allows for a more playful approach to stirring a cauldron with a skull atop your stir stick. Some of the ways you can alter spells is one of my favorite parts about the game. When I first realized how to do this, it was almost a game changer as I created fireballs that would now bounce, turning me into the infamous plumber himself as I bounced flame after flame at the onslaught of trolls. The use of your shield was also a really fun way to block oncoming enemy fire, as you hold box on each move controller to create a small geometric shape that covers each hand and expands to Captain America's size with both hands combined. I mean, come on guys, who wore it better? Another thing I loved about my experience with The Mage's Tale was all the obvious attention to detail. From raising your hands above your head to recall you back to your spellcrafting area, to the 3 individual portals where all kinds of random trinkets or trinkets that have been provided by inXile just wanted you to have fun with can be found. There's just a lot to do and a lot just to play around with. Another upside is the amount of content that can be found. With the main campaign coupled with an endless horde mode and other things that you can do in this world, it's estimated to have nearly 10 hours of content, and that's just if you get bored. I personally could see this game having quite a bit of replayability, which means more playtime. The issues I have with The Mage's Tale are honestly more functional than anything else. The game crashed twice for me, and both at the same time and place and during the same action. This was just after obtaining and casting the lightning spell for the first time on a group of enemies. I can't explain why, but the only way I was able to move past this part of the game was when switching to the fireball spell to confront the wave of enemies instead of the lightning. Again, I don't understand why this could be, as I never had this issue when using the lightning spell again. Another personal issue I found with The Mage's Tale was simply the combat itself. While it can be quite engaging, there were times where the enemy engagements felt a bit less gratifying and somewhat shallow than other situations. Overall though, this is a minimal and almost whiny complaint in my book, as these were far and few between, and often very brief. As always, I played The Mage's Tale on original PS4, and I loved the visuals for the game. It has a slight cartoony but realistic feel to it, which worked great in VR. My one complaint may be with the character model for the guide through the game. The detail on his character seems to lack in stature compared to the rest of the game's polish, but overall this is minimal, as I often only listened to him speak as I continued on to my next task. Let's be honest, this game just wouldn't be the same without VR. In fact, there are a few games that are worth mentioning prior to VR that would allow you to take up the adventure of an aspiring wizard. This is one heck of a VR experience, and may be up there on my list of favorites when it comes to the use of the VR advantages. It's really just a ton of fun. The Mage's Tale is a fun, well-designed, and well-polished VR title that will make waves on the PSVR marketplace. While the $30 price tag may seem like it lands on the higher end for PSVR users, this game is worth it and is one hell of a way to kick in 2019.